Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to call the January 7th meeting of the Common Council to order. I will ask our clerk to call the roll.
Alderperson Vitale.
Here.
Weigel.
Here.
Barzak.
Here.
Shaplesky. Here. Haas.
Here.
Lysick.
Here.
May.
Here.
Frankie.
Here.
Rote.
Here.
And Stefanski.
Here.
That's 10 present.
We have a quorum. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led this evening by Alderman Vitale. Okay, item D on our agenda is public hearings. We do not have any this evening, so we will go right to item E, which is citizen participation. This is where the Common Council can receive information from members of the public during this 30-minute period. Each speaker must give us their name and address for the official record. Please sign in at the podium and limit your comments to one statement of no more than 5 minutes. Council can't take action on these topics because the topics are not properly noted, so we can't get into discussions. Does anybody wish to address the council under citizen participation this evening? Okay. Seeing none, we will close citizen participation. We will go to item F. Our standing committees will be meeting during recess this evening. Those room numbers are listed on the bottom of page 1 on your agendas. Moving to item G. I do not have a mayor's report this evening. Are there any alderpersons' reports?
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Lysick.
I move for approval of the minutes of the Common Council meeting of December 17th, 2019.
Second.
There's a motion with a second by Alderman Rote. Are there any changes to the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item J contains 4 items. I'll ask for a motion for those to be sent to the city attorney.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Haas, second by Alderman Stefanski. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We do not have any standing committee reports. Item L, we have a motion for consideration.
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Shaplesky.
I'd like to move that we move this for reconsideration and take it back to committee.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The item is sent back to committee. Item M is recess.
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Lysick.
I move that we stand in recess until conclusion of the committee meetings.
Second.
There's a motion with a second by Alderperson Reinke. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are in recess.
yeah. Just the one that everyone's here for. Yeah, that's right. You're important still. Not that important, yeah.
But we'll do the whole thing, because we don't really have that much.
Yes, right. Yeah, and Marty, I got your voicemail. Thank you. Yeah, I'll have to recuse myself and walk out for number 17. Or is it, I just said
7.
7 is what I mean, yes.
But we're gonna do 8 first.
We're gonna do 8 first.
We're gonna see Gary and Tracy and I don't see Vince. Oh, there's Vince. Maybe should have passed
The amendment, yeah, like you had said, age 12 and 63. 65, yeah. I had it here a second ago and now. Okay, yeah, we got everybody. Yeah, thank you, Alderman May. Yeah, we're going to start with the Administration and Finance Committee today. Usually we start with License and Health and then do Administration and Finance. We'll swap that because I think most folks are here for item 8, and we'll start out our agenda with item number 8. So I'll call the Administration and Finance Committee to order. All 5 members are present. And starting with agenda item number 8, which is a resolution establishing health insurance plan funding levels, employee health care, premium contributions, and health savings contributions for the plan year March 1, 2020 through February 28, 2021. And to start out with, I have an amendment to option 1. We've had a number of meetings on this, and I think that the consensus of the group at this point is moving toward option 1, where we were allowing the retirees to roll with the actives more so than before. And but there's one item, if I can draw the committee's attention to, on the bottom here, it says family coverage is limited to 10 years or age 60, whichever comes first. After some discussion, I think it's found that folks have children later in life. There probably aren't many cases of that, but that would be unfair to folks who have children later in life, and unfair to their children in particular. And so what I would propose in amendment to option 1 is family coverage is limited to 12 years of age or 65, that's of course Medicare age, whichever comes first.
It's just 12.
Not
Just 12.
12 years of coverage, not someone who's 12 years old.
So, yeah, I said that wrong. Thank you for correcting me. I had 2 people
13
correcting me.
year.
Yeah. Yeah, 12 years of coverage. Yeah, thank you. And so, yeah, that's an amendment that I offer is,
I'll move approval on the amendment.
okay.
We don't,
Or we
We need a motion on the whole thing first?
well, we can do that. However, as long as the committee understands what we're going with, we've done it both ways. We can make a motion and do the amendment first, and then do the whole thing, or
do it all at once, too,
do it all at once.
because we know nothing, but.
Yes, Alderman Chaplesky.
How does that come as far as the meeting the goal of amount of money we need?
That isn't really impacting this year's budget. It goes forward with subsequent budgets. I had talked with Alderman Haas earlier. The impact of keeping people on with the family plan versus, I would assume it would be a couple plan. We have 13 pre-16 or pre-13 retirees that are on family, and then 25 post-13s that are on family. If we look at the difference, 1 year would be about $100,000 for the pre-13s and $157,000 for the post-retirees. That's the difference in the premiums for those. But
But I'm saying, we're trying to meet a certain figure.
We're doing
We're doing
that
that?
already through
Okay.
the
So
decrements.
it doesn't.
This is just
Okay,
to help us with a significant OPEB liability
Right.
that we have.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you. So yeah, can I have a motion to approve the option one as outlined right here, but with the change we just talked about at the bottom here, 12 and 65?
So moved.
Second.
Yep, we have a motion and a second, and Ms. Grill. Yep,
If you're gonna choose option one, you also need to approve the original recommendation, because the option one relates to the retirees. The original recommendation relates to the actives. So option one provides that the post-13 retirees would have a 7% increase, which is if they chose to move, and which is similar to what the active increase is. And then the pre-13s, if they chose to switch, would have a 0% increase. So these go together, and the other side has the option too. I just tried to simplify it for people, so.
So, Mr. Chair, my motion was to approve the original recommendation with option one.
and the amendments.
Yeah.
It's
Entire
the second.
recommendation with option one and the change to 12 and 65.
12 and
that we had
65.
And then
we
there's
discussed.
also amendments to the resolution to include the family savings plan, the expansion of the provisional program for retirees, and then to pick which option. So that's, the things that are added are in red.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel.
so in the resolution where it says option X, it should be option one. Right?
Yeah, yes, correct. Okay, so Alderman Weigel, can you make a motion to approve as the resolution as outlined that we're holding here in red, as just outlined by Ms. Grill, and the original recommendation and option one, and the amending to 12 and 65?
So I'll move approval of the resolution as we're holding it, which includes the dental and vision insurance with the recommended premiums from Horton Group, with the changes from, as mentioned on the family coverage limitations, with the limitation being raised from 10 to 12 years and the age 60 to 65, whichever comes first. Is that everything?
And then can you give a,
Keep going.
wait,
What did I forget?
wait, Cale, what's wrong?
What was published was just number 3. The resolution is published.
Okay.
Looks like there's a 4.
Yeah, there's no number on here. This just says title.
So numbers 4 and 5 would be
2019-0874.
2019-0874.
You have them memorized. Okay,
just for the committee's benefit. What was published was a resolution with there were 3 different things that were approved, or at least presented and published. It looks like there are 2 additional options, numbers 4 and 5, that are being presented as amendment to the published resolution. So the motion was correct in that it is a motion to adopt the resolution with the option 1 and the changes identified by Alderman Haas prior. So that's properly before the committee. In order to add numbers 4 and 5 to the resolution, a motion to amend the resolution to add 4 and 5 would be in order at this time.
okay, well, we didn't get a second, though,
Oh,
on the
correct,
motion.
correct.
So,
I'll-
yeah, Alderman Chapletsky, thank you for seconding that. And then we're going to amend to add items 4 and 5. And then can I have a motion?
I'll move to amend to add items 4 and 5.
Alderman Chapletsky, would you like to second that?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All right, and again, just so the committee knows what we're doing here, and
Right.
we're all on board, okay. Any discussion
On the amendment.
on the amendment?
So hold on a second. Usually there's a motion on the floor with amendments or just a motion first and then amendments added. Are we voting on just a motion, on just the amendments or the full thing?
Just the amendment.
First the amendment.
Right.
Thank you.
Right now, the amendment.
And that the amendment to the resolution adding 4 and 5.
Will be next. Got it.
Okay,
Procedure.
yeah, so any discussion on the amendments? Then can I have well, we have a motion and a second on the amendments, we'll vote on the amendments and then we'll vote on the whole thing. So as to the amendments, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And then as to the entire issue before us in item 8, we have a motion and a second,
Yes.
we do have a motion and a second on that already, thank you.
More discussion?
And any more discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel.
I would just like to thank staff and the Horton Group because we had an original recommendation from them, which not everyone was 100% happy with. And I understand we're never going to get to 100% because there's not going to be all winners here. There's going to be some people that have to, I mean, these are steps that we have to take going forward. But again, I think we found a solution that gives many of the affected retirees an option. So at least we're not forcing them into one program here. So I just wanted to thank staff for coming out of that. And I see there's nobody from Horton Group here. I don't think that, I think they did a yeoman's job for us.
Okay, any further discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Alderman May.
I just asked if there are any older people out here, do you have any other suggestions or amendments or anything, if we might get their comments now, as opposed to taking them up on the floor of the council?
Alderman
I
Barzak.
have a question. If a retiree chooses to move into a different plan, will they have the option to move back in the future should they choose to? Or are they, once they move, that's it? You moved, you
Correct.
find a better situation, you can't move back?
Otherwise, they would move back in right before they retire because
Okay.
then they would have the post-65 benefits.
Yes, sir.
So,
And, Alderman May and then Alderman Lysick.
I called Peggy this morning, and I had asked her about that. You know, someone had contacted me, she's the wife of a police officer, and she said, you know, I've got better insurance where I am. Why couldn't we take my insurance for 5 years, then jump back on for the last 5, you know, the 60 to 65 range? So then the city's not paying anything. You know, we're not getting the, you know, the premium share and all that, but we're not paying anything out either. And wouldn't we be saving that way as well?
Ms. Grill.
That's a different leaving, because I think what Alderman Barzak was asking was if they would move back to the original plan. So there is, under the original recommendation in option 1, there is verbiage that says participation in the family savings plan is considered participation in the city plan if they return to the self-funded city plan, and it will be after they're no longer on the other plan. Their cap remains the same as when they retired, and they roll with the actives. So
Very
there's
good.
an ability.
So they can
yes,
come back. Okay, good.
because that's the whole point of the family savings plan, is to save money. So we had wanted to make an opportunity for them to do that.
Very good.
Okay. And you, and I lied, before I go to Alderperson Reinke, Alderman Lysick, I wanted to be
My
recognized.
questioning was the same as
Okay.
Alderman May's.
And Alderperson Reinke then.
I have a question posed. If a retiree changes his mind the second year, can he change insurances?
We're gonna have people sign off on this as a one-time decision. But I don't think it, then we'd be having people change their mind right before they're gonna retire, and it kind of defeats the purpose of what the, mitigating the post-65 insurance plan costs. So, no, with the total benefit package for the employees, we made them make a one-time decision by a certain date also, and they're not able to change.
So it's a one-time decision.
Correct.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, thank you. That is item 8, and then moving on to item number 7. Item 7, I must recuse myself on because my wife works at the health department, and so I'm going to recuse myself and walk out of the room, and Alderman Weigel is going to run the meeting, and please mark me as voting present on that. Thank you.
Okay, item number 7 on the Administration and Finance Committee tonight is an ordinance to amend the City of West Dallas salary schedule due to the creation of the position of lead public health nurse. And the health commissioner's here. Thank you.
Thank you. So we actually have salary savings in 2 vacant positions from last next year. And in effect, we are not going to fill both. We're consolidating both of those positions into this lead public health nurse.
So taking two positions, making one.
Correct.
Should result in a savings.
Right, yeah. And we're creating more of a career ladder opportunity for the nursing staff as well, so they can kind of work their way up the chain, if they so please.
Okay, Bob, do you have a particular employee in mind for this? You say the name or not, I don't care.
Yeah,
Yes, you do?
We will plan on doing an internal recruitment.
Okay.
And opening it up.
Okay. Any, do I have a motion?
Approval.
Second.
Alderman May, second by Alderman Rote. Anybody else? Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carries.
Thank
You
you.
have a new lead nurse position.
Soon, hopefully. Thank you.
Bring the boss back in. Steve, can you bring the chair back in? Can you bring the chair back in? We're done already. Not messing around here.
Went really smooth.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know that our Alderman Weigel handled it well.
You can have the big chair back.
A big chair, yeah, okay, thanks. All right, and then, moving on, we don't have,
9, 10, and 11.
as I'm shuffling papers here. Yeah, item 9 is our city attorney claim report. And, can I have a motion to place item 9 on file and deny items 10 and 11?
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Alderman May and a second from Alderman Weigel. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Anything else to properly come before the Administration and Finance
Move we
Committee?
adjourn.
Second.
And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
I'd call License and Health Committee to order. First one we have is Robert Anderson. Okay, okay, you know why you're here?
Yes, sir.
Let's see. 16.
So what number are we
16.
on?
Okay. That's right, last time you didn't show up.
I believe so.
Okay. Okay. The notice? Okay. Do you know why you're here?
Yes, sir. Operating without a license.
Okay. You know, we do these checks all the time. And I don't know, why didn't you have?
Really, I'm ashamed of myself. It was a complacent act. What happened was I was working 60 hours at Nissan trying to afford to replace my oil burner. I was putting a rooftop unit on. I was working in the morning, coming there at night. I applied previously for my license and everything. I came here. I asked the lady at the front, I said, what else? After I paid for everything I needed, I said, is there anything else I need that would stop me from getting my license? She said, PPT. I said, what's PPT? She said, personal property taxes. The next day I came, paid $4,600 in cash. I thought at that moment, it was really, to me, it was miscommunication about this. I thought everything was okay. I was working every day at Nissan, coming there. I got there. I was complacent. I forgot that it had to be on the wall. I was expecting that everything. I don't know what I was thinking. This was my first year in the bar business. And when the officer came there, I really forgot the date and that I didn't have it up on the wall. It was the 4th. And when he called me out on it, I had no argument. I felt really stupid. And you know, he was really nice to me. I shut down. And then the next day, I called. I said, why didn't I get it? And they said that I missed a plumbing inspection. So I called the plumber. The plumber said he left a couple notices on my door. However, some of my other employees stuck them, and I found them all behind the pizza machine.
That's nice.
I bought a new mailbox that has a lock on it. I just recently put it up yesterday. I had the plumber come in the following Monday. He came in, checked everything out, and everything was good. And then I went back and got the license. It was a misunderstanding. I really messed up, and it won't happen again.
Okay, good. Do I have a motion to place this on file?
Move to place on file.
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Alderman May.
you have your license now?
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you,
Okay.
gentlemen. Don't have to-
Indeed.
Thanks for coming in.
Okay, this, number 17, that's that Deborah Barone. She was the one that had the warrant that showed, you know, but when the chief checked on it, it was taken care of. So I told her she didn't have to be here. Well, I told the clerk, so.
So I move approval then.
Second.
Okay. Approval. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. No, 18 is Premier. Why do I have that?
It was a
Because-
police report during their active license, however, they're.
Oh, that's not the same people, that's right.
Yes.
Motion to place this on file.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Then we have police report, Robert Lucas? Did we call him?
No, I don't think any of these have been called in yet, have they?
No, we're just reviewing it.
Yeah.
We're supposed to just review, well, this is the police report.
Yeah, they
No.
were placed on file, or I mean, held in committee last.
Okay. So, I remember this. Trying to remember this.
Any harm in holding that a little longer?
Well,
'Cause I don't see the records that I have.
as far as what happened?
For what was sent out on, on Friday, Ann usually sends out a packet.
Yeah, there were no police reports in that. I haven't seen police reports on this.
The only one in it, and that's fine. The only one in there was Stalling Wood.
Right, yeah, those are here.
Yeah.
You know, well, I got that, and then we have number 20, which is Uncle Fester's,
That one's not in here either.
No.
That's what I'm saying, I don't have the info in front of me to be able to.
Right.
J.C.'s. Excuse me. So we don't know,
I don't care.
do we get police reports? Was the police report sent to us?
I didn't get it either.
On which number?
I mean, maybe it was intended.
19, 20, and 21.
Yeah. There was no big fat file of,
Well,
These are all license applications.
well, no,
That's
right, I knew what you're saying, but as far as, these are the police reports.
yeah, but we don't know what they are, and you're not gonna read them to us
Right.
now, right?
No, I thought they, no,
We can hold them for.
committee meeting.
yeah,
Yeah,
we'll hold them till next
you didn't get those.
council meeting.
No, I have a packet and the police reports aren't in it. What I
Usually
do
send
have,
an email ahead of time, I don't remember getting one either.
No.
Okay, we'll just hold it. Unless we get a call from Ann.
Did that reconsider now?
Okay, now we got the review of the background license? Or, wait, well, okay, yeah, we gotta take this first.
This one too. Reconsideration.
I'm sorry. Just a second, everyone. We're gonna go to item 6, the reconsideration. Is Kayla here? Sorry about that. Okay. Don't worry about it. Okay, now, called you in because of things on your record. And let's see. Since then, I think you took the serving course.
Yeah, I did that when I first applied.
Okay, here it is. Okay, we had a number of things, let's see, from 11, 15, 16, 18.
Yeah.
Well, I think the disorderly conduct was one of the reasons, and then you had an OWI in 15. And, you know, what have you done try to show that you are rehabilitated
Sure.
from these?
My OWI, I actually took classes at MATC, passed everything, paid well over $10,000 of my own money, lost my vehicle, lost my job, literally almost lost my family. So to say that I have 4 healthy children and can get back into the workforce, I think that's a little bit of rehabilitation on at least my part. But paid, took an AODA class, parenting classes, literally anything that I could and was told to do. And I don't even have an actual driver's license anymore because I paid the original $10,000. I have about $9,000 left to go in things that I have to pay, so can't get drunk and drive home. I don't drink behind the bar. I don't do any of it. I was literally just looking for fast money, not gonna lie. Bartending is nice in that aspect.
Sharon, how'd you get here tonight?
Walked. I live on 77th and Lapham.
Okay.
Close enough.
Good answer.
Yes.
The right answer.
Yes.
Mr. Chair,
Alderman Weigel.
a couple questions. Where are you working?
I was working at Stallywood. Robert that was here was my boss, and JC's. So
Okay.
literally within walking distance of my home.
Okay. And I also see in your background resisting, obstructing. What were the circumstances on that? I'm just curious.
Like resisting.
Um,
Could you tell me, was it 2011?
October 2018. Or no, that's a
Seven.
clarification, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
I was like, hold on.
I actually
didn't do
don't,
anything.
My apologies.
Where do you see that?
I don't see that on yours.
I thought I saw it
It
here
was
on her.
2011. All that should have been dropped.
Disorderly conduct.
There's a DO.
Retail.
2011.
OWI operating law.
Operating
I don't
while
see
revoked.
it.
I'm sorry, I thought I saw, this is the only police report we have here. Operating while revoked. Passenger under.
That was one of the charges, but it doesn't look like it was one of the.
I don't know anything now that I read it properly.
That it became disorderly conduct.
Oh,
It
okay.
became a DO only.
Oh, I see.
That's a DC, disorderly conduct.
Yeah. Resisting or obstructing an officer, that
What'd I
was,
say?
DO.
that was in 2010. I guess that was
Yeah. That
9.5 years
shouldn't
ago.
have
Okay.
gone through for anything, and I apologize saying this to city members, but
Yeah.
there was an altercation at my home. I'm not gonna
Okay.
lie about that one. And it didn't start with me, but it ended with me. And when I was put into handcuffs, I actually got my face smashed against the ground, and I lost my 2 front teeth. So none of that should be on there. It was kind of
Okay.
like things were dropped mutually.
Okay, do
So that's a little
you have something?
not cool.
So this would have been the 2010
Yes.
CM
Yeah.
4317 was a disorderly conduct. That's all it was.
It was.
So that's all. The
Okay.
commission only considered a charge of disorderly
Right.
conduct for that.
Okay, do I have a motion from the committee?
I move approval, subject to Alderman Weigel's discussion.
Well, I guess I have another question. Is this your only job right now?
It is.
So-
I've been raising children for the past long time.
Okay.
Long time.
And is this your first license? It's not a renewal. This
No,
is
it's my very first
your
one.
first license. So you've been working at these bars under someone else's supervision.
Yes.
Okay. And so we ask our licensed bartenders to be partners with us.
Sure.
If there's a problem, if you think you should call 911, pick up the phone, call 911. And when the police come, we want you to be helpful, not, oh, I didn't see anything, even if the guy's a great customer,
I don't care.
we're.
I'd
there-
rather be safe than get tips.
I like that. There may be an occasion where the police come and do a compliance check. I don't know what Jeff does about that, or Bob at Stallywood. I imagine when you get the ticket for serving somebody under 21, they're going to make you pay the whole ticket?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah. They're not going to help me with that.
yeah. Well,
They shouldn't.
because it's your job to
Well,
make
you
sure.
won't be getting one, you just told us.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
So,
No. I'm really paranoid about that.
is the speech getting shorter? I don't know, did I miss a paragraph?
You got the big stuff.
Okay.
That's good too.
Okay.
And I would add also, if you're in a situation where you think, should I or shouldn't I call the police, always call the police then.
Okay.
We have trained professionals that will come solve that problem for you.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. And you don't have the license until you have the license in your hand?
Yes.
So it'll be acted on later tonight?
Did you apply for provision?
Do you have a provisional?
Expired January 4th.
Okay, so
I don't have anything.
you don't have anything right now. You can pick it up tomorrow in the clerk's office between 10 a.m. and like 2 p.m. If you don't pick it up, it'll be mailed to you and may take a day or two to get to you then, so.
That's fine.
But again, you don't have the license until you have the license.
Understood.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Emma.
Okay. Then we go to item number 15, these are various license.
Move approval subject to necessary requirements.
Seconds.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Then we have item number,
That's it.
or the discussion items. How many do we have? Do we have, how many do we have?
Well, Mr. Chair, there's two. There's one with reviewing with 6 licensees, and then there's one regarding the Hales Corners.
Right.
Right.
I don't know which one you were.
Is that the attachments too?
Okay. I tell you, if you want, is there somebody here from Hales Corners? Okay, I tell you, why don't we do that discussion since somebody's here? Why don't we do that first? Now, I was called, I don't know, Kayla was called first, but by the president of Hales Corners,
Who was the clerk?
Clerk.
Administrator, but all works.
Oh.
Administrator.
I'm
Okay.
Sandy Kulik, I'm
Yeah,
the
come on.
administrator of the.
Sure, have a seat. And asking that if they could, I don't know, did you use the word purchase a license or?
Transfer.
The word's transfer.
Oh, okay.
The appropriate vernacular is transfer.
And so I think once before in the past, well, Watosa, I think, asked for it, and we said no at that time. But I was asked that if we could put this on the agenda for discussion. And so is there any parameters that we have to work here, or what's?
I can go into the legal side of it, and I believe the city clerk would have the numbers if you want to know how many licenses are available.
Right, yeah, I think we got that.
Generally, a state law exists that allows communities within 2 miles of each other to transfer their reserved Class B licenses to one another. Each community is allowed to transfer up to 3 reserved licenses total. So upon the transfer of 3 reserved licenses, there are no more to transfer. So if we were to transfer 1 to Hales Corners, then we'd have 2 left to transfer in the future. Just so that it's a finite number.
Ever.
Correct. Under current law. Upon transferring, the city would have to then set whatever the initial issuance fee would be. It has to be a minimum of $10,000, and the council has to set that prior to transferring it to a neighboring community. That fee is then paid by the licensee applicant, and the applicant then is the one who just pays the initial fee to the community that transferred. Then every renewal would go to the community in which the license is held. I believe we have we have 10 reserve licenses right now, of which we are still well short of even getting into those. I'll let the clerk give the numbers if necessary. But it's a relatively simple process as far as what the council has to do. And it's really up to the council to decide what the price would be for this license if there is a desire to transfer it to a neighboring community.
Okay, Steve, do you have anything?
Sure. I did provide a memo I handed
Right.
out there, Roy.
You got that?
So the actual quota started in December 1st of 1997. That's when the state law kicked in. Back then we had a population of 63,653. The current population is 59,780. I bring up the populations because the one way to actually increase the amount of quota or reserve licenses you have is to increase your population, and that's in increments of 500. Currently, we're well below, we got a census coming up. Quota.
They're not taken away.
Correct, never taken away. The quota itself, it ends at 137 licenses. We have roughly 122 right now issued, and one coming off the pipe with another licensee that has come to you. So that leaves about 14 or 15 regular licenses. On top of the regular licenses, you have 10 additional reserve licenses. And then I gave some background, some general information on licenses. Kayla already talked about some of it. With the minimum fee for these reserve licenses is $10,000, and then you would have to actually set that fee.
Mr. Chair.
I just don't, I don't know if it's been, the $10,000 isn't, whatever number you come up with. We don't continue to collect 10,000 numbers. Oh, just,
a one
no,
time.
that was.
Yeah,
that's
it's a one-time.
Like, no,
One time.
I mean, we
Initial
get
issuance,
$600 for
yeah.
initial renewal, I mean, after that,
Yeah.
it's,
But that does bring up a point, I don't know if Gail mentioned it or not, but we get that initial issuance fee, however, the issuing municipality after transfer gets the annual license fee
Right.
every year.
Which would be the standard fee.
right,
Yeah.
correct.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Weigel.
So-
A little bit faster.
Hales Corners is at their quota.
I can give you our history if you'd like. it.
Well, and already through your reserves, right?
Correct.
Okay, and you had 10 reserves also?
No, God,
No, I didn't think so.
No,
Is
we
there
have
10 bars?
13 there's, okay, there's 13 regular licenses that are all issued and 3 reserves, which are also issued.
Okay. And I assume you have some development that
It is,
somebody
it's
wants?
the request is for a gentleman who operates around 20 restaurants in the Milwaukee area, El Dorado. Mexican restaurant is the one he's planning for Hales Corners. He also runs Cocina Real chains as well. So it's not a, pull into the corner bar thing, it's a restaurant establishment.
Okay, any other questions? Alderman May?
Are there any things we can put on there, like a right of first refusal? I mean, if Hales Corner got this license, could they go ahead at some point and sell it to another community then? Or,
They would be restricted to selling 3 licenses to another community, just like we would be.
I guess what I'm saying is, if you wouldn't need it anymore for some reason, you never know, and you want to get rid of it, would we have the first right to get it back? I don't think we need it, but,
We would likely then have to purchase back one of their reserve licenses.
okay.
Or at least a licensee within the community would have to pay an initial issuance fee, and Hales Corners would have to agree to transfer one of their reserves to the city if it had one available.
That's part of the law that hasn't been tested yet, and I actually wondered that myself when this first came out.
Yeah,
As long as
could
they-
we ever, like, not recall them, but you're not using them?
Correct, and there's
We get the
this
first right.
situation has not arisen yet in the state, but the idea would be they have the right to transfer 3 licenses as well that are not being used. And as long as they haven't transferred 3, one of those would be eligible for transfer back to West Allis. If they have also transferred 3 licenses at some point, they would not be able to do so, and it wouldn't matter what agreement or first right of refusal we would have with
Okay.
this transaction. It would be a separate transaction that would be completely voluntary on Hales Corners' part.
I could probably tell you highly unlikely.
But they've already gone through their 3 reserve licenses.
We have been since since
Yes,
97,
yes.
we were maxed out.
Yeah.
So in order
12 years.
for this to occur is those 3 licensees would have to surrender their licenses, or at least one of them would have to. And then that license would become another available reserve license for Hales Corners, which could be transferred, which would
Okay.
then result in them having one less license available.
Are those 3, gets a little bit inside baseball, are those 3 licenses in West Dallas assigned to specific locations already? Or is there 3, or is that just any 3 closed in Hales Corners? I guess it doesn't really matter to
My
us.
understanding at least is that there should be in Hales Corners 3 specific establishments that hold reserve classes.
They're called reserves.
One of
They're
those,
licensed that way.
one of
Okay.
those 3 would have to give in its license for the village to then sell it, or transfer, I should say.
Okay, and if I can continue?
Go ahead.
On the $10,000, I'm gonna ask, this doesn't happen a lot. I mean, how many, are there some communities, I understand some, that there's some low population communities that have been buying them from their neighbors, right? No?
Because licenses were, in 1987, a community that was much smaller than it is today is likely the one that's facing the most of a pinch here, and why
Mhm.
it's they're probably trying to acquire licenses. So growing communities technically are usually the ones who are the prospective buyers.
Right.
I think the clerk identified the town of Brookfield
Yep.
as being the most recent purchaser or acquirer by transfer, for, I think it was 25,000 per license at that time. And I don't know what year
Probably
that
the
was.
Corners, it's probably Bel Air
For the
and
Corners.
those other ones.
Okay, so what benefit is there to us? I suppose that's a question we had to look at.
$10,000,
Or whatever we want to set it,
or whatever we wanna set it at.
$20,000.
Do I hear 30?
Well, yeah.
Well, we're not determining
And-
this tonight, right?
and-
We're just discussing it?
Well, I think we're just kind of looking at, would we be open to this?
And Mr. Chair, yeah, I think the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, we have enough. We've got 10 extra licenses. I don't think we want to use all 10 of those licenses. We have development in mind, but using all 10 of those licenses. I don't think that's something that we want to do. And if we can help out Hales Corners and make some money at it, yes, I think is the answer.
Okay. Anybody else?
I agree.
Yeah, sell it.
Mr. Chair,
All one.
how many other suburban communities are in the fat position of having a bunch of extra licenses? I bet you've been shopping around, right?
Muskego has 10 available, New Berlin has 7 or 8. Franklin had 19, but they don't anymore. I don't know what their numbers are anymore. They've issued quite a few, but they have some available as well. And again, we're looking to, it's a timeline thing for this person. They're hoping to open in this like early spring, March-ish. So yeah, there's licenses around us. You know, I don't wanna say it's kind of a batter's box, but that's kind of what it is. So we're hoping to, again, I wouldn't be here if this was like Billy Bob's Corner Bar. I believe this, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
being
I
honest.
understand that.
This is a
development you want.
very
Yeah.
viable,
Yeah.
desirable restaurant for the village, and I've been asked to diligently pursue it, so I'm doing that. There are licenses around us, and I don't wanna get in a bidding war, cause that's not the intention either. I think I like I think I talked to you first.
You did.
It was, more of a, again, let's help each other out, kind of a community type thing, and I've only had one other community. Franklin has agreed to consider it, Muskego has agreed to consider it, and this is the closest I've ever gotten to actually talking to people about the concept. So now, on your other argument, I think if there was some concern, if there's something we could do that says we would give it back to you in the event it was available, I don't think that's a deal breaker for Hales Corners either. I don't know if the legalities of it is a problem, but I can tell you, we're not looking to farm your license out to anyone else. We don't have any licenses to issue. So,
Okay, so the next step of this is to bring it up for, we'd have to get a resolution?
So the next procedural step would be the village board of Hales Corners would have to pass some sort of resolution making an official request for the city of West Allis to transfer license to the village. And then we would act upon that request, and that would be it.
And you understand, there's only 5 of us here.
Understood.
There's another 5.
So your step, you need my board, I can have that done as early as Monday. I can have it on our agenda for Monday.
And then the specificity by which the board makes the request would determine our scope. So if they just say, we accept a transfer for a value of, and they don't list a number, then we'll have to set that number on a later date. If they put a number, then we'd be bound by that number in the consideration of it. So it all depends on the conditions that the village board would put on its request for transfer.
You're saying if they offer 10,000, but we're saying it's worth 12, we can't go back and say, sorry, 12, it's whatever they offer? Is that what you just
No.
said?
That would be their limitation.
That's how I just heard it.
That would be whatever limitations they place on it, then the city could enact a resolution that is not necessarily within those parameters, but it would require then the village board to act again to
Yep.
accept the counteroffer.
That makes sense, of course.
And how
So
much?
we're asking,
That makes sense.
I
It's,
know, I get that too,
Yeah.
I'm not looking to get into a bidding war.
Yeah.
Tell me what your price is.
Well, how much were those ones? How much
Yeah,
was
you
the
don't
ones
have to
in
pay it.
Brookfield?
No, it's.
Yeah.
12,
Or-
500 each.
Yeah, so the only ones I know of for certain, and I contacted the administrator in town of Lisbon to get a copy of their agreement, was between town of Lisbon and town of Brookfield for 25,000 apiece for 2 of them. I had heard through the grapevine there's others. In fact, this law was actually initiated for some place up
I thought it was at
Green
Schwabenheim.
Bears.
Yeah,
Schwabenheim,
Schwabenheim.
something
That
like
sounds right.
And it was a pretty hefty price.
But that
I
was,
don't know
they
what
should
the
have done
tax-
a PUD up there anyway.
So, okay, so, well, that's something to be determined as far as how much it is, so.
we have a former,
Oh, Gary.
Quick question.
He's not
Colin
former
Barth.
yet.
no, former chair.
She brought up that she would be willing that with this particular license, to this particular person, should that person go out of business and the license be surrendered, that you would give it back to the city of West Allis. And I think part of the contingent on that would be that we don't pay anything for that except the lowest fee possible. In other words, I'm gonna make a number up, we sell it for 15,000, okay? When we get it back, we just get it back. But I think if we can make that legal agreement, I think that would be like a real strong, I mean, I would be real in favor of this. If that would be the case, that this particular business, if it would go out of business, that we get that license back. They
Yeah.
can have it for as long as they want.
Kale?
We would be bound by the state law, and so if there was any arrangement to transfer back, it would be contingent upon the legal availability of Hales Corners to transfer license back. and then secondarily, it'd have to be a minimum of $10,000. So
State
while
law
that
says
number
that.
could be agreed to, might be a practical concern that they may not have any licenses to give back ever.
So you can't put that as part of the condition.
It-
That
it
we
could
will
be-
do this.
it could be a
On the
condition.
You give it back to us with this, that's an agreement between the municipalities, but not the state law.
It could be a condition to it, but there still would be a $10,000 license fee, because we'd still have to follow the law on how to transfer licenses back and
Then we
forth.
just make the license 20
If we
grand.
sold it for blank and we bought it back for that same,
Keep 10 in escrow.
20.
no longer.
Well,
Well, and I guess that's what I was trying to.
Would 10 grand be
I think
worth
I was trying to get to that
20 years
why
from now?
It is incredibly unlikely that this establishment's gonna go.
Yep, and I'd have no problem.
And your attorney's comment also is that our 3 reserve licenses are also well established. There has not been a new licensee issued in Hales Corners in, well, probably 4 years. So they're staying, they're operating, and they're successful. Everything that's come through has been a successful establishment, so. Odds are one of our regular licenses might come up because somebody died and their business goes up, and I mean, that's literally what would happen to it.
So, but now, just to get back a little bit, we can sell any of our licenses, not just the reserves.
No.
No, we're just gonna
up to
sell the
3.
reserves.
Up to 3 reserves.
Only
Up to
reserve
3.
licenses are available for sale, and only 3 total.
Okay,
in the
that's,
history of the city.
yeah, I didn't.
So once it
Okay.
happens 3 times, then the city's done.
Okay. Okay, so,
So,
it's up to you.
Mr. Chair, just to
Come up,
to clarify
okay.
then, all I'd request then from the village would be just a resolution requesting the transfer of a reserved Class B license with no
Keep it as simple
contingencies.
as possible.
That would be, I think, the best way to approach it from.
And then we'll take it up from there.
Yep.
And we'll come up with a number.
Mr. Chair? Yeah, that's my question. That, we come up with that number in closed session is it negotiating the sale of an item? Excuse me, transfer of an item?
I'd have to review the open meetings exceptions to see if there would be a reason to go in closed session. I can't think of one right now, but I'd look at it. But
Contract negotiation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not a contract.
It's-
I don't think you can.
The discussion that you'd be having would be the same discussion setting between the range of a normal license fee.
Right, regardless of.
Which you wouldn't normally do that in closed session. I don't know of a reason to it, but it's the same process as setting within a range for any other fee. Just now the fee would be minimum 10,000 and no ceiling.
Okay. Any further questions? Okay, this is where we're gonna go.
Thanks for your time.
Yep,
Thank
thanks
you.
for coming. We don't have to do any voting on that, because it's just a discussion on it. Okay, but now we have our review of applicants. Do we have all our sheets? But I just have this. Do we have anything else?
Just what was emailed out.
Okay. So. Okay, so we have just these 4? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just these 6 is all we have?
Correct.
Okay. First one. Okay,
Yeah.
I think it's one of our requirements that we said, it's got the LWI.
We're looking at Angela Crewhouse.
Yep.
Yeah,
For operating while suspended.
right. So I think we should call them in?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that, call for that person in. Next one,
Tanya, yeah, call her in, a recent,
just one.
one OWI,
Just recently, yeah.
recently. Well, 2 years now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna call that, her in. The next one,
Mr. Chair?
hit and run. Would hit and run be a,
You're doing Stephanie Morris, correct?
yes,
Okay, thank you.
hit and run be a reason for not to give a license?
If the council is going to deny for such a conviction or such a charge, then it would have to be something the council to eventually link back to the purpose of operating under a bartender's license, so.
Can you skip Jennifer?
There's nothing that's automatic.
It's crossed out.
Oh, not on mine.
Not on yours.
Failure to stop after an accident. How would that relate to the
Yeah,
operator's license?
I don't think so.
Right.
I think
Yeah,
it-
I'm with Alderman Weigel.
I don't think, I think it'd
say
be hard to
no,
prove.
There's
that
nothing
we-
alcohol related here.
Okay, we're not calling her in then.
No.
Yes.
Okay, the next one, Natalie.
That was Stephanie Morris.
Yeah, we're not calling.
No call.
Okay, Natalie,
And these are all traffic, I would say, no, don't call her in.
I would agree with that also.
yeah. Okay,
Non-criminal retail theft, so that must just have been a fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, not them either. Is the- 1 OWI, 16.
4 years ago.
I think yes, call them in, no, if they have an
Jacqueline?
OWI, the
Yep.
answer is yes.
Okay.
Jacqueline call in.
Okay,
And Cora.
got that, Steve? And Corridon too, yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, there's two.
Cora's 2 OWIs, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
okay, any questions there, Steve?
Nope.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
for my benefit, have you been moving to conditionally deny these folks? Is that how it's been going, or how have you?
Yes.
No,
actually been-
they weren't too keen on doing it that way, so right now it's just a discussion item. They make their decision and we call them in.
And they gotta show us the, they made a
Yeah.
rehabilitation. Isn't that how you planned it?
I mean,
But you're saying, what you're saying is that we basically, all the people calling in, we're denying, unless they can show us rehabilitation.
correct, I guess the law says
That's kind of
upon
process.
denial, they must be given a chance to show rehabilitation. You're essentially given a chance to show rehabilitation before you deny.
So
Which
the
effectively-
the letter that goes out says it's considered for denial.
Being considered for.
Yeah, I tried to explain that, but I didn't do a good job.
I mean, as long as we are allowing the person to show evidence of rehabilitation at some point in time, I don't think the order necessarily matters as much, as long as it's certain as to what the person is supposed to be here for. If they are gonna be considered for denial and they know what they're supposed to bring, then at least we're following all the correct elements, even if they're not in the correct order.
Okay.
So that's fine.
So, another discussion item, which I'm just gonna put back there, so. I believe that's it.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You wanna signal on? Motion carries.
Administration and Finance Committee, Alderman Haas.
Mayor Devine, the Administration and Finance Committee met and acted on the following items. We approved item 8 as amended, and I move for approval of item 8.
Second.
There is a motion and a second by Alderman May. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Vitale.
Aye.
Weigel.
Aye.
Barzak.
Aye.
Shaplesky.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Lysick.
Aye.
May.
Aye.
Ranky.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
And Stefanski.
Aye.
That's 10 yeses.
Motion carries.
And further, item 9 was placed on file, and items 10 and 11 were denied. I move for approval of this portion of the committee report.
Second.
There's a motion with a second by Alderman Weigel. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Vitale.
Aye.
Weigel.
Aye.
Barzak.
Aye.
Shaplesky. Haas.
Aye.
Lysick.
Aye.
May.
Aye.
Ranky.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
And Stefanski.
Aye.
That's 10 yeses.
Motion carries.
And regarding item 7, my wife is a public health nurse for the health department, and accordingly, I must recuse myself and remove myself from the room during discussion of item 7. So the Vice Chair of Administration and Finance, Alderman Weigel, is going to read out item number 7.
Scoot.
Mayor Devine, I'd like to draw the council's attention to item number 7 on tonight's agenda. It is an ordinance to amend the City of West Allis salary schedule due to the creation of the position of lead public health nurse. This was acted on all members of the A&F committee in attendance, with 4 voting aye and Alderman Haas voting present. I move approval of item number 7.
Second.
There is a motion with a second by Alderman May. Is there any discussion on item 7? Seeing no discussion, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Vitale. Sorry.
I know you
So
forget
why
about
won't
me.
he answer?
You forget
Alderperson
about
Vitale.
me. Aye.
Weigel.
Aye.
Barzak.
Aye.
Shaplesky.
Aye.
Lysick.
Aye.
May.
Aye.
Ranky.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
And Stefanski.
Aye.
That's 10 yeses.
Thank you, Mayor Devine.
9 yeses.
9 yeses.
That's 9 yeses.
One present.
One present.
One
or
recused.
Recused, yeah. Yeah. Good. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alderman Haas, you can come back now. We will go to the Public Works Committee. Alderman Barzak.
Well, I hope we didn't go outside, Kevin. Oh, you didn't.
Yes. Alderman Haas went on a 10K and he's back.
Lightning fast.
Yeah. Samson Stomp, I think, this time of the year, something like that. I'd like to bring your attention to items number 12 and 13 on tonight's agenda. They were approved by all 5 members of the committee. I move for adoption of the committee's report.
Second.
There is a motion with a second by Alderman Stefanski. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Vitale.
Aye.
Weigel.
Aye.
Barzak.
Aye.
Shaplesky.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Lysick.
Aye.
May.
Aye.
Ranky.
Aye. Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
Stefanski.
Aye.
That's 10 yeses.
Motion carries.
Mayor Devine, that is all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Safety and Development Committee, Alderman Lysick.
I refer you to item number 14 on your agenda. It's communication to be placed on file, acted on by all 5 members of the committee. I move for adoption of the committee report.
Second.
There's a motion with a second by Alderman Barzak. Is there any discussion? No discussion. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Vitale.
Aye.
Weigel.
Aye.
Barzak.
Aye.
Shaplesky.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Lysick.
Aye.
May.
Aye.
Ranky.
Aye. Gosh.
Hey, hey.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
Stefanski.
Aye.
That's 10 yeses.
Motion carries.
That's all, Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we have the License and Health Committee, Alderman Chaplesky.
I'd like to report on item number 6, 15 through 18 on tonight's agenda. These are various license and reports. They are voted for approval. Approval is subject to necessary requirements or to place on file by all 5 members. I'd like to move for the adoption of the committee's report.
Second.
There is a motion with a second by Alderperson Reinke. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We will conclude our lovely evening with the advisory committee. Alderperson Reinke.
Mayor Devine. I direct the council's attention to items number 22 through number 26 on tonight's agenda. There was one resolution and several reappointments, all favorably approved by the committee. Mayor Devine, I move for their approval.
Second.
There's a motion with a second by Alderman May. Is there any discussion on the appointments? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Vitale.
Aye, my pleasure to vote for Alderman Haas, you know.
And likewise for Alderman Vitale.
You bookends.
Weigel.
Aye.
Barzak. Aye. Chapletsky.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Lysick.
Aye.
May.
Aye.
Frankie.
Aye.
Rote. Aye. Stefanski.
Aye.
That's 10 yeses.
Motion carries.
And then we have number 27, which is a resolution that was approved as amended. I move for its approval. Mayor Devine.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Stefanski.
just wanted to let everybody know that I tried to make a stand for our citizens and regarding the crime that happens here in West Allis, and so I am voting no on the resolution that I worked on. So,
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Mayor Devine.
Alderman May.
I'd like to let the residents of this fine city know that what the resolution says is substantively the same. A word is changed from demand to strongly urge. It's still a resolution that will go forth to our state legislatures, letting them know that we would like to see some imposition of incarceration and longer terms of incarceration for criminals who endanger the people of this community. And whether the word says demand or strongly urge, the function of the resolution is the same. And I would encourage everyone to vote in favor of this rather than against it. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman May. Is there any other discussion? No discussion? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Vitale.
Aye.
Weigel.
Aye.
Barzak.
Aye.
Chapletsky.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Lysick.
Aye.
May.
Aye.
Frankie.
Aye.
Rote. Aye. And Stefanski.
no.
That's 9 yeses and 1 no.
Motion carries.
That is all, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Lysick.
I move that we adjourn until our next regularly scheduled meeting, Tuesday, January 21st at 7 p.m.
Second.
There's a motion with a second by Alderman Vitale. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.